Good morning, you guys.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Real Talk with SLR.
How are you guys doing today?
Well, happy Sunday, friends.
Yes. Today is a beautiful, beautiful day.
Absolutely.
Not really windy at all. There's like no wind.
No, and not a cloud in sight either.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not too hot, actually. It's pretty nice weather, but it's a beautiful fall day.
Yes, it's you can see all of the leaves fully changing.
Oh yeah, and look at the top. Look at those really red ones.
Yeah.
And I remember when we first moved out here, there's some really bright red trees. Maybe I'll slip in some B-roll. I don't know. We'll see. But at the very tippy top of the mountain, like almost the tippy, it's definitely on the back ridge. When we first moved out here, there was like one red tree that I remember seeing all the time.
Yeah.
And then one really bright yellow one. I don't see the yellow one yet, but the bright red one has now multiplied to like 3, possibly 4 bright red trees. No. And maybe they were there all along because they're pretty big. No. And maybe I just didn't notice them, or maybe they didn't get as bright, but they're pretty bright this year. No. It's gorgeous. The mountain is definitely going through a transformation.
No, it's beautiful. Like on tomorrow. And today's gonna be an amazing day.
Yeah, today we got some company coming over. Our good friend Pops is made it across the country and is on his way back over this way. He's actually in Arkansas already and was hanging out with our other friends, Junk to Gems, last night. Yep. And so we chatted with him. He's actually going to come by today, and we're going to see about taking him on a ride. Yep. It's going to be a very good day.
It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
It's going to be super, super beautiful.
Yeah.
It's been, man, I don't know. It's just amazing today.
Yeah.
Today I went out in the blind and there was a lot of movement, a lot of birds, a lot of I wasn't really watching any squirrels. I went and moved everything around.
Yeah.
So I wasn't expecting a whole lot of movement. But
Chip and Dale weren't hanging out today? No.
But I've been spotting the same doe over and over and over. I mean,
you've had your shot for it like several times, but you just let it go.
Several of times, and like I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like, man, I already got myself a doe. I do have 6 tags, so it's like, well, let me see what I can do, and I want to try to get myself some bucks. So I don't want to try to screw the pooch on that one, and I can only get 2 bucks in my area. So that's where it's like, okay, so I gotta play the game correctly. But it's it's one of those things where, one of these days when it's like, okay, it's not, then hey, whatever. But I'm going for that buck, and that doe is just like tempting me. Like no tomorrow. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, you did already get a doe. Actually, this weekend, Gary and I processed out the doe fully because it was wet aged for a week. Yeah. And after that, we went ahead and we actually took it all and we made 2 different types. We ended up making ground, and then we ended up making sausage out of it. Yeah. And I've got a ton of meat now in the freezer because of it. It was it actually was a long day, peeling all the silverback off and getting it all done. But I'm happy that it's done. Yeah. And it's sitting in the freezer now, but that was something that we did this weekend.
Yeah. I was able to get Mel to come in and help me out with it, and she got to see firsthand on how much of a pain in the butt it is to do it.
Definitely different than chickens,
Correct.
Like when you got the one last year, I helped you with getting it prepared, cleaned up, and like washing all the big pieces and everything.
To go into the cooler, right?
Yeah, I did that.
I took that over to David's, and David's a lot better at it than I am. I'm just saying. All right, he's 1,000 times better.
Well, he's done it. He's done it more.
He should be, right? He's done it a lot more. But
which, thank you, David, for teaching us how to do that. Hands-on experience is always the best experience. You can watch videos about it. You could read books about it. You could hear people talking about it. But until you get your hands on it and you're doing it yourself, I mean, once you're doing it yourself, that's a whole new animal, and that goes with everything in life. Like, there's not a single thing that I've ever done in life that,
After just doing 2 deers, right? Well, technically 3, because I did help David with his. Mm-hmm. Right. So after doing that, I really sit there and I'm like, man, I really want to get myself a walk-in fridge type thing for that, because that's how, like, you watch all the videos online and everything else like that. That's what they're using.
Well, maybe you should plan some space in your garage for that.
I have a plan now for that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
yeah. Maybe that'll be in the works.
Yes. So I don't know. It's very cool though, walking around and moving everything around on the property and getting everything all set up and all that. But I'm excited, man. Like I've ventured on the whole 41.36 like no tomorrow, and it is a beautiful piece of property.
Heck yeah.
I'm super happy that we have it, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing, you guys. I'll definitely try to take you guys along on a couple of adventures back there and everything. It's pretty crazy, and that hill is a very nice, and I can definitely foresee a zip line coming from the tip all the way down over here.
One day.
One day, because it is a bit of a chore to walk back there, and it'd be nice to be able to, hike it all the way up and then not have to hike all the way back down.
Yeah.
We'll just clip in and go, whee! I'm back home. But I don't know. It's gonna be an amazing day. We got the goats walking around. They're going crazy. They're eating all the vegetation around and whatnot.
Yeah, they're trying to get it before it like withers and fully falls,
Mm-hmm.
The dogs are doing really well in their new spaces though. Like I do have to say, since, we rearranged this whole bottom tier area and we've gotten, the seniors to have this bigger part. I mean, I know you can't see it, but we're looking down on the area, and we could see what's going on. But the big senior dogs are really enjoying like this area with the trampoline and the fireplace and stuff, and being able to, of course, go back inside and loaf.
No.
But the 3 big dogs, they're playing around in there. They're having a great time inside their new area. And
loafing right now in the sun.
Yeah, they are.
They've been up all night long last night.
Yeah.
The coyotes were going crazy, and the bobcats were going crazy, and everything else were going crazy.
Yeah.
So they were up all night last night howling and whatnot. Which is awesome. That's why we have so many dogs. That keeps a lot of the animals away.
The wild animals, yeah.
The wild animals. I mean.
Well, one day I would like to integrate Louie and Layla back with Cappy and Sir. Oh. We're just not. We have so much on our plate right now. We're just not ready to take on another thing at the moment. They're doing great separated, but I just was mentioning that the big dogs are having a good time in their new space, and I'm loving having the change down here,
That's really
it looks
nice.
really good.
Really nice having the goats out right now, and they're in this area, right? And we can see how they're going to be interacting with just the goats walking around freely.
They don't even move. They just lay there.
The dogs literally aren't paying them no mind.
I know it's been a while, guys, but I'm still scratching my head on the whole Ellie Mae situation. I'm not convinced that it was the dogs, but I'm also taking precautions, just in case. That's why we did all this stuff as a precaution. I'm just not convinced with how they're acting and how they've been acting. I don't know. So we're keeping an eye on the situation. We're keeping our thermostat, checking it.
Yeah. Trouble checking everything, making sure everything's good.
Yeah.
But it's going pretty amazing on the 41.36.
Yeah.
I can't lie,
I wouldn't think you would, baby. I wouldn't think you would.
But no, it's today we've got a really good plan. We're gonna have some fun.
Yep.
We're gonna be getting a lot of things done as well.
Yeah, we're gonna basically be hitting it hard, I guess. Well, today I wouldn't say hitting it hard. We got some things that we're going to do, but then when our company arrives, we're going to spend some good quality time with our friends or our friend and doing that. But I guess Monday through Wednesday, we're going to try to put in some really long, really hard days, those 3 days. Because this week coming up is going to be very busy for us because we've got company flying in from town. Gary's brother will be here. Yay, I know. I can't wait to see Curtis. Anthony's old bandmates, which have been longtime friends of the family for 20 plus years, they're coming. So we've got 3 extra people from the West Coast coming to the property, and they'll all be here on Wednesday. And then, we'll have like Thursday. I know we're not going to be getting a whole lot done like on our build and stuff while they're here because we don't get to spend much time with them. So it'll be a visiting time, and then you guys are going to go away this weekend for the man's fishing trip. And we're going to have the ladies over here to hang out for the ladies' day, So it's going to get really busy, like I guess towards the end of the week with not so much work, but more, spending time together, quality time and making memories and stuff, which is another thing that we're trying to slow down and make time for in our lives because we need to. But in order to be able to enjoy that time from now until like through Wednesday, we're just going to be working really hard and really long. So that way we can get a lot, like the week's worth of work done in like the next 3 to 4 days, today included. So we're going to try to really beef it up and see what we can get done. This last week previous to that, we went and we did help our friend Drew and stuff. And we've had some other things to do around here on the homestead. And honestly, Gary and I have been taking it a little bit slow. We've been kind of trying to, I guess, get back into, the season's changed, right? So we're trying to get back into a different frame of mind. There's a lot of things that we've been planning and working on the background that kind of takes our attention away sometimes. But all good things. Yes. All very, very good things. And I'm really happy with the direction that everything's going and just life in general,
It's been a really, really amazing ride, man.
Yeah.
And it's something that I wouldn't change, for the world. It's awesome.
Yeah. But in order to reclaim the simple things in life, you got to reclaim the simple things in life. It's, got to slow down sometimes. You got to take a step back and like reflect, and that allows space for growth. And, it's been a continual ride of growth, I think, for us. In our personal lives, like mentally and like obviously physically with all of this stuff, there's been so much we've learned, whether it be about building, about, love and family and friendship and everything. We've signed up for the absolute best ride of our lives. And I don't take it for granted. I've just been really thoroughly trying to take it all in and just enjoy it as much as possible. Especially, like life isn't promised, like time is not promised.
No.
Things change in the blink of an eye. And we've definitely experienced a lot of that in throughout the summer and up until now. And I guess that's probably why we're kind of going full circle with some of the need for reflection and quality time with everyone and everything. Yeah. So that's where we find ourselves, but we're still motivated, highly motivated. We've got all the pieces to the puzzle to work on the mudroom out front, which I'm so excited. We're going to start tomorrow building the walls. Like we are for sure, we're doing it tomorrow. We're going to start building those walls up and getting it ready to put the doors and the window in.
It's going to go by pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's going to go by pretty quick.
I think by tomorrow afternoon, we'll have all of the walls finished. That's my prediction. Tomorrow afternoon, all of the walls will be finished, and then it'll be like, all right, let's build a roof for this sucker. And then we'll have to work towards, zipping the roof in with the zip board and stuff, like how the rest of the roof is. And that's going to face its own challenge, but we will deal with that challenge when we are really faced with it. Right now, we got a good plan for the walls for tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be nice. We're gonna be having to do quite a bit, but it's getting closer and closer to that,
I know. I'm excited, guys. I've said it a billion times, but I'm going to say it 1,000,001 times. Our big goal for the end of the year is just to have metal on the roof, right? We're not worried about the siding of the house and stuff yet, just because the siding, we still haven't fully decided what we want to do with it. We know that we want it to have like complete cabin vibe. So when you're looking at our house, you look at it and you definitely, for those that think cabins are only constructed out of logs and not stuff like this, anybody would look at it and say, yeah, that's a cabin, Yep. But yeah, the actual definition of a cabin, I've got it like memorized at this point because I've replied it. It is a small wooden structure, or it is a small shelter built out of wood in a remote location. So yeah, but when you think of a cabin, right, like that's the literal definition of it, which we totally fit. But when you think of a cabin, a lot of people think, like Lincoln logs, or they think like something like that. So we want that aesthetic on the outside to kind of be there, even though we're using the zip board and like traditional 2x4s and 2x6s and stuff. But
trying to make it longevity last a little longer, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, those log homes, they last a really long time. They last
a really long time if you maintain them and you keep up on them, right?
But the thing is like when we were deciding on building our house, we had to counter in like, because we were actually thinking of doing it with logs at first. Yeah. And then, I mean, like we even like skinned them and we were stacking them and we were dealing with them and we put in a lot of work on our logs to then decide to mill it, you know?
It was such a nightmare to pick up those logs.
Yeah, and we were thinking, we're like, man, we're going to need like tractors and cranes and we're going to need all this stuff. And those things are super duper heavy. One fail move and you're dead. Like you literally will die.
Yep.
And we're like, our building experience isn't there. So how can we achieve this? And so we put our knuckleheads together. And that's when we were like, look, we're going to build kind of traditional with 2x4s and like the nice zip system and stuff, but we're going to give it the look by taking some of the natural logs on the outside and then maybe milling it down to like a half a log or something and then figuring out how to attach it to the siding so that way they're easier to maneuver. You could still get the look of it without the dangerousness and the expertise and the skill that you need in order to build an actual real log cabin at this size. However, if we were doing like a 12 by 12 little small little one room type of cabin, we could I feel like we have what it takes to do that. I feel like for sure. But with the size of the house that we wanted, it was just...
Location would have to be key.
Yeah. And it wouldn't have to be on top of a basement because that's what made it so high, you know?
Location would have to be key and you'd want to really be more on like flat land.
Yeah.
Not on a hill. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You could put... People have put cabins on the hill, but it's...
outside of our knowledge zone.
It's the bigger aspect, you know, having to build the foundation up that much and then you're still left with a hill, you know, underneath the house.
Yeah.
That's not being, you know, used.
Yeah.
You'd have a crawl space, which is nice to have a crawl space because of plumbing and all that other stuff. But that's why we went with the basement.
Yeah.
Was because I didn't want to have dead space underneath the house that could have been used. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was like, let's just throw a few more blocks on top of it, and now we actually have like doubled our square footage.
If I'm gonna have to go this far up, regardless, this far out on the hill, why not just dig out the hill and do a basement?
Yeah, and it makes sense for us and for our family's needs and stuff for sure. Yeah. But I'm really excited though, guys. Our whole journey out here has definitely had to take many turns, and we've had to be really flexible and adjustable, you know, as life goes on, you know, and as our life unfolds, you know. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things, but I'm really happy with the direction of everything. I can't wait to bring some of those outside elements. So I guess circling back to the siding, we haven't decided whether we want to completely mill it all ourselves, which will save us a lot of money but take a lot of time. Or whether we want to chop the trees and then bring the trees to the local mill and have them mill it and kiln it for us, which would be a little bit fat. That would save us a lot of time.
It would be a lot quicker.
Yes. Or whether we want to buy some that's at the mill that's already pre-milled. So if we do it ourselves with like providing the logs ourselves, we could save a whole lot of money by doing that.
We need a cost analysis.
Yeah, we're going to have to sit down and do some of that too. But
that's not really coming just yet.
No, metal on the roof is more important.
Correct. The metal on the roof is first.
Yeah.
Let's get the metal done, and then that way we can come back around and
start doing some of that
on the siding and everything
cost analysis, and then also like
analysis and everything else.
Yeah.
However, I would like to go and talk to the wood, the mill place. Mm-hmm. At the same time when we go and talk to the metal place.
Yeah, just so we can start getting our feelers there and
and we can see what's going on, and not only that, if it is going to be like, that's going to be a lot cheaper and a lot more beneficial for us just to have us bring the trees and have them do it, then you know we're going to want to chop them this winter. When it's time to
Yes. And I don't know too, like, you know, there's logistics to think of. Okay, we chop the trees. How are we going to get it to them? Well, a trailer, right? So then there's going to be like, okay, well, we don't have the equipment for that fully.
What
so
trailer can I use to pull this?
Yeah.
And then
what trailer? What vehicle?
What friend can I,
or
talk into
or is it going to be one of those things?
Tractor out here, or
are we going to have to hire one of those log?
I don't
people.
Think that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you see the big loggers that drive with the big log trucks.
Man, if that's the case, then that's going to be devastation to the aspect.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't know these things.
So
we don't know these things.
There are these things that we're, there's a lot to it. Guys. There's a lot going on in the background. And like, we have a mill over at David's house.
Yes. We do have, and so if like we could do it 100% ourselves, right? Where like we're only chopping 1 or 2 trees at a time, and then like maybe we bring it over to David's.
Stack them on a trailer to bring them over to a kiln. Like, there's a lot of different options that we can look at. But time is money. And time is valuable. So.
But you only have so much of each.
Correct.
You got to figure out how to spread it to benefit you the best.
Correct.
So that's what we're doing. That's partly what we're doing. That's partly of.
We're trying to play
that's some of the behind the scenes stuff that's very important for us that takes time to figure out, So
that mudroom's gonna go up real quick.
Oh yeah. I honestly feel like by the end of tomorrow, that the walls will be up. I really, really, really feel like that because I know how fast we work, and that's a small building. Or it's like a small addition.
The walls are definitely gonna be up. We're gonna be working on the roof and trying to figure out the pitch.
Yeah.
By the end of the day.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out exactly where everything lines up and goes.
That's the hope, my friends. That's the hope. But I think we're going to be successful with it. I mean, honestly, we're pretty successful with most things when we put our minds to it and we get after it. It does take us a few tries sometimes, of course. But the thing is when you don't give up, then you'd be surprised at what you can accomplish. If you have I'm going to do it, you have the confidence and you have the never quit mentality and, you're not afraid to fail, then you'd be very, very surprised at what you can do.
Correct.
And I'm a firm believer that anybody can do anything that they put their minds to it. You might fail a few times, but if you have the determination that you can do anything that you set yourself out to do. Doesn't mean you're going to do it the first try. Doesn't mean you're going to be successful right off the bat.
100%.
You're going to get a lot of doors slammed in your face, and you're going to get a lot of no's before you finally get that yes. But eventually it'll come.
It will.
Yeah.
It will come.
Yeah, we're proof.
But it's going to be awesome, man. I'm super excited to get that build going and get that thing done and everything. But.
Yep. Today, though, we are going to get rolling. We've got a few things that we're going to try to get done. We've got some more stuff that we're going to be working on in the background, trying to get things ready to go for some videos coming up for you guys. We've got some work that we're going to be doing with some of our sponsors, and so we're trying to get some of that stuff done today, have it be kind of one of our sponsor days, so that way we can keep the wheel greased, right? Yep. So we're going to spend some time doing some of that today. I don't think it should take us too long because we already have the lowdown on it from like figuring out a lot of it this weekend. We just haven't done any of the filming for it yet, but we have been like playing with it and like figuring stuff out like throughout the weekend.
Yep.
And so we're going to do some of that. And then today, man, I'm not going to lie. I have a whole basket full of like really cool stuff that like our friends and stuff have given us at like the meetups and whatnot. I've been hanging on to it since May. And then last time Pops was here, he gave me like a couple of metal signs and stuff too. It's like just pretty decorations for the garden and for like the Pecker Palace and just like the yard and stuff. I have a basket full of these pretty things that I want to set out and like do a little bit of like sprucing with. Oh. And I think today's going to be the day that I get some of that stuff done too, because I want to also go down into the garden and just like pick some weeds, but I'm probably going to do that this afternoon when the sun isn't out. It's not hot, but it's just bright for my eyes. It's just bright.
It is a bit bright.
Yeah.
You gotta definitely have some glasses, but
yeah,
it's a beautiful day, man. I couldn't ask for a better day. I think it's only going to be like 74, 75 today.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's really not that bad. It's just the garden is like in the direct spot for the sun, which is a good thing for the plants. But
yeah. Especially since, you know, we had 31 degrees or 38 degrees and here and there and last week. So
yeah, and my garden is pretty much done for the season. I'm going to let the onions keep going and just keep giving because they just are the gift that keep on giving.
I still can't believe that those onions.
And I'm going to let my kale keep giving because my kale is still giving. But other than that, like my garden's done. I just want to, there's a few weeds that I want to pull before it gets crazy because you guys know how crazy it can get. And I think when I go out to set out all the pretties, I'll spend 20 minutes or whatever it is kind of sprucing that up a little bit too.
Yeah.
But that'll be like this evening, like right before dusk or whatever. Yeah. Like the last hour before the sun goes down, come out here and mess around. But yeah, we're going to have a good day hanging out with Pops though. Pops coming on over. I think we're going to take him for a ride in the side-by-side and show him a thing or two.
Yeah.
And enjoy his company and hear about his trip across and seeing his family and all the fun stuff. Spend some quality time together.
Should be a good day. Should be a really good day.
Should be a very good day. So we're gonna I was just gonna say we're gonna get on it. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today and watching today's episode of Real Talk with SLR. I hope you guys are having a very happy Sunday.
Yes.
And you know, don't give up on your dreams. Keep going. If one door closes, another one's gonna open. You might have to beat it down, but it'll open. So with that, we are going to run. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today and watching today's episode. Until the next one, friends, we love y'all and we hope you have a good one.
And we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye, you guys.
Later.